I don't know. Maybe y'all saw. Maybe you didn't see. Maybe I mean, people can only watch so much news, you know. But y'all saw the president at the UN. This is. I didn't see everything as it was happening. I heard about some stuff later, right? So then I got a text message from my friend. They were like, "Oh, did you see what happened at the UN?" I'm like, "No, I didn't see what happened at the UN." And they explained to me that, you know, he was getting on escalator, and then the escalator stopped. Now, I thought at the time, I thought it was going very differently. I thought the escalator stopped on like a down escalator. That would have been a big deal. Imagine you on an escalator. You have belief. You get on a down escalator, you're like, all right, this is gonna take me where I need to go. No need for a seatbelt. If that thing just stops, the momentum, whoa! Now the president's falling down the steps. So I thought that's what happened. Then I watched the video and I saw that he just walked up to the escalator, stepped on the escalator, and the escalator broke. And you saw him stand at the bottom of the escalator like, what? And Melania didn't miss a beat. She just started walking up the escalator. And so there were people that were like, this was sabotage. UN needs to be investigated. Somebody needs to be arrested, right? But then he made it up the escalator / stairs. And he went to speak to the UN. Went to speech for the whole of the UN. He's standing here, UN over there. And as soon as he goes to start, the teleprompter broke. We know the teleprompter broke because he told us. As soon as he walked up, he told us, teleprompter broke. First the escalator, teleprompter broke. Nothing here work. Nothing. No, teleprompter. And it's like, look, if you're delivering a speech and it's been, you know, uploaded to a teleprompter, then teleprompter breaks, like, that is something to be annoyed or caught off guard about. But I'm sitting there watching, like, why do you care that the teleprompter, you're not gonna read it, like you're not. Every speech is off the dome. Every speech you can tell every speech he's over here freestyling every time. Why do you even have a speechwriter? You know the president's speechwriter right now gotta be the easiest job in the world. You just over here typing up chapters from Great Expectations, knowing he's not gonna read it. Knowing he's just gonna go, you know what I mean? He goes off of vibes. What do you care that the teleprompter's broke? You weren't gonna look at it. You might have read the first couple sentences and then been like, you know what? I'm gonna speak from the heart. And so the teleprompter broke it, you know? And so he's like, I guess I'll just have to. Which was also wild because the speech was printed out in front of him. But he was like, no, you want me to turn pages? No. And then proceeds to, you know, give this address to the UN, and it depending on who you talk to, Depending on whose opinion you're listening to, it did not go fantastic. Because the energy of the speech was like the normal energy. It was like rally energy, you know, like talking to his base or something. But this is the UN. They don't live here. Like they're not. Some of the stuff they don't care about. Like you talking to the UN. Everyone's here. He's over here like I inherited a mess and we fixed it and like years ago we were down in the dumps and now we're the hottest country in the world. He keeps saying we're the hottest country in the world and I don't know what that means. I feel like even the UN was like, so what? Climate change? What does it mean, the hottest? This is also wild because, like, you talking to other countries right now. Why are you dunking on them right now? Then, dudes over here, I ended, like, 7 wars. And it's just funny because, like, everybody he talking about is there. So now some of these countries look at each other across the desk like, I don't know. I didn't even, what did I say? Nah, it was incredible. And then there was a weird thing. I think it was Brazil. He was talking about the leader of Brazil and how, like, first of all, this dude also tariffing everybody. So then he was talking about how he doesn't do deals with people he doesn't like, but then he had a good handshake with the leader of Brazil, so maybe they could work something out. Even Brazil had to be like, yo, I don't know. I just saw him in the hallway. Out here trying to be cordial. I don't even know if this is good. Was this good? No, it's phenomenal performance. Truly, I've not seen anything like it. Just over here. I'm sure if you were at the UN, just sitting there, you just sitting there quietly listening, looking over at other countries. There's some countries that had just be chuckling. Like countries that aren't in the mix, you know what I mean? Like if you're not like a key member of BRICS, or you're not, you know what I mean? Like if you're not like in the news in that way, you just come, you enjoy the show. You know? Like I imagine maybe Zimbabwe might have been cracking up. They'd be like, that's your friend. That's your friend. But that wasn't the only incredible performance. That wasn't the only press conference. Because they held a press conference because they found it. They found it. They nailed it down. They found the cause. That's what they said. No one gathered everybody together, got the press conference going on. Oh, yeah. Looked like it was in the Oval Office. Yeah. And they were going to talk about the causes that they had found, the root cause of autism. This is what they said. And so, they walk in and you had Dr. Oz. Dr. Osmosis himself. You know Dr. Ozymandias, like Dr. Oz is standing there. And like, why? How did this happen? If we are just gonna start putting people from TV in real, like, government position, in real medical field, can we at least get somebody from like Grey's Anatomy or something? You know what I mean? Like, if we are already not being serious, can we not be serious better? Who is checking for Dr. Oz besides Oprah? Who is? He's standing there, doesn't even really look that healthy himself. This man's advice so far has been actually insane. They've done interviews with him. He's, spoken to the public. Like, what would you suggest for Americans? The man is out here. If you want to, if you don't, look, if you don't want to be sick, be healthy. I wish I was joking. I wish, like, I can barely take credit for that one. I changed like 2 words. So you got Dr. Oz from TV on one side. And then you have y'all know who he is. And then you have RFK Jr. on the other side, looking odder than usual. If y'all saw it, you know what I'm talking about. RFK Jr. showed up. I don't know what's happening. Because it wasn't like a tan. Like, he looked like a bruised blueberry. Like, he looked wild, and nobody addressing it. Nobody saying anything. The president over here just trying to not use his peripheral vision. RFK Jr. is white. No, that is a white man. He's white. He's a white guy. But that's the first time I've ever seen a white guy and been like, he is colored. Like that. Yo, my man, what is happening? He just stand there like he's been holding his breath for 26 years. This is very bad. And then, I don't know who told him. I imagine it could have been somebody, higher up, but it could even just been an aide that told the president, okay, you're going to give this press conference, you're going to talk about links to autism, and what you need to do, this is very important, for legal, this is very important for a lot of reasons, what you need to do is say the name of the drug. Then you can go on and say the brand name. But you need to say the name of the drug, because the drug is what we're saying is the link, not one particular brand. So there are other like store brands that are this drug. You need to say the drug. Say the drug. You have to say the drug. Okay? Say the drug. And I'm sure he attacked it with that regular, bravado. I'm gonna say it, whatever. Get out of here. Let me work. Let me get in the zone, all right? I got you in my ear. I got him over here being purple. Let me work. goes up, starts the speech, is rolling with it. And then he hit a more than 8-letter word. And then the commander-in-chief, leader of the free world, in real time, in front of us, the American public, technically the whole world, because the internet, our leader in front of the nation, at a press conference they called. Our leader in real time sounded it out. I try really hard. No matter who somebody is, no matter the background, no matter the situation, really treat people like equals, not like look at people a certain type of way. We all struggle. We all have our different strengths and weaknesses and everything. But I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it. If you are 80 and you haven't attacked a word before, maybe it's just not a word you ever going to get. Like if you... It's late. It's late for him to be sounding out new words. Because the word, he could see the word coming up. And sounded it out confidently too, just over here, and it's not like it was in the mic. You couldn't hear it into the mic, but you could tell Dr. Oz was standing there trying to do hard ventriloquism. Just... Dr. Oz was standing there like, just open your mouth, let me do it. Dr. Oz was fighting to just, you could see him. I see him in the face. I see him in the face. I said, Tom, I see the Trump. See him, man. I knew when he looked around, we were cooked. Like I knew it. When that man looked up from the paper, I was like, no, stay on it, stay on it. Stay with it, you almost got it. I see them in a Tylenol and like that. That is also wild too. Gave us the full, what is it, Porky Pig? Gave us the full Tylenol. And he was hitting those T's, that Tylenol, extra hard. He was getting his payback with those T's. Tylenol, don't take that Tylenol. When y'all see Tylenol, because it was rough. It was like you've been in third grade before. You remember when a teacher, I didn't even know this at the time, but it was basically when a teacher had like a hangover, and so then the teacher would just make y'all read the book to each other. At the time, I really thought it was about learning, and now that I'm grown enough to have friends that are teachers, I'm like, no, you had a bender. That's what this is. Don't try to put this off on the students. You seeing double right now. And so it would be, your turn would be coming up. And you would do a thing. Somebody would be reading over here, and you start counting people and counting paragraphs. And then you read ahead a little bit so that when it's your time to read your paragraph, you're reading your paragraph all fast and everything. People can't even retain the information. Then, there'd always be that one kid. There'd be that one kid where it's like, when you get to his paragraph, that's going to last till the end of class. So you literally count your paragraph till you have to read, and then you count paragraphs, and you like, the bell going to ring here. Sometimes to be a kid, everybody learns differently. We all have different abilities, and you do your best to be as patient as possible. I remember, I had one kid in my class that we would do that, and then his paragraph be coming up, and as soon as his paragraph start, everybody's like, and then he would start, and he would be sounding it out, and then hit the word, and then sounding it out. Everybody learns at a different pace. Sounding it out, hit the word. Sound it out, hit the word. Sometimes he'd even go back, sound it out, hit the word, say the last 3 words together. He's learning. We're all learning. Everybody moves in their own time. But sometimes, I'll be honest with you, I was a kid too. I wasn't always patient. Sometimes he'd be sitting there and be like, and I'd be like, it's A. You already hit it. It's A. There's nothing left to do. It's A. It is A. You did it. High five. You did it. It's A. It's only A. And then you grow up and you mature and you realize that everybody's good at stuff. People aren't as good at stuff and everything. Because I'll tell you what, I could read. When I was a kid, I could read. Very good at reading. My math wasn't great. So then when it came to math, it was me who was like a little bit behind all the time. Especially when we got to like algebra. Because I could like, factor a little bit. I understood denominators and stuff like that. Like I felt like I was keeping up and everything. But when we hit algebra, all of a sudden the tables were turned. This is why you have to be as patient with people as you want them to be with you. Because I'm sitting there. And for the first time, there's letters. There's letters in the math problem, but I'm sitting over here like, and then he was sitting there like, it's 4. And so, he's over there. He went ahead and dunked on that acetaminophen, and then went ahead and started saying Tylenol, started describing to the people things that were not on the paper in front of him. Which is why you definitely shouldn't be upset when the teleprompter doesn't work. You know is what you're gonna do. This man was just throwing out all types of wild claims. This dude was like, hey, look, the Amish, the Amish don't have any autism. And a couple times in this press conference, he would say something, then turn to somebody and be like, is that true? My man, no, it's all on the paper. They put it all on the paper. You had RFK Jr. turn from purple to red. Because then he just started going off on like vaccines in general. You know, and just started saying like, look, you know, it's too much. It's too much. And he's not the first person, he's not the only person to be saying that. It's too much at one time. You know, you got those beautiful babies and you shooting them up with 80 shots of liquid. The thing that stuck out to me about the liquid thing is that you could tell he wanted to say juice. You could tell he's like, they put too much juice in them babies. Nobody need all that vaccine juice. No, it was truly wild. And then it was over. And then it was over. I can't imagine what it must have been like to be on the board of Tylenol. If you're on the board of Tylenol watching this press conference, you over here probably on a whole roller coaster of emotions. Like, at first you'd be sweating because they had let it slip several times that this is basically what the topic was going to be and what was going to be said. It had been like, you know, pieced out, little flavor, little sprinkle here and there for the media all the way up until that press conference, right? But then, when they actually said it, I'm sure Tylenol was stressing when they said this is what the press conference was going to be about. This is what they were going to talk about. You work at Tylenol, you sitting there, edge of your seat. And then he goes to say the name of the drug, and you're probably like, this might not be that bad for us, honestly. Like, he almost said a cinnamon. We might be in the clear here. All we gotta do is come out with a label, no cinnamon in our product. We'll be fine. And then he says your brand name. Then he says your brand name over and over again, and now you're like, that's not good. That one came out perfectly. And then he talks about the Amish, and you're like, I guess if people watch the whole thing, they'll be confused enough to not know if they should take it or not. Because my thing is, look, why have such an unforced error? You know what I mean? Go ahead. You already got Caroline Levitt talking to the media all the time. Get her out there to start the thing. Get her to say the name of the drug and then walk off. Then you can go and just go off your vibes and everything. You had two people on either side of you that probably say the name of the drug all the time. Don't let him, but let Dr. Oz say it. Let him earn his keep. You know, he over here supposed to be a doctor, got the shortest name I've ever seen. Because I do my best to be up on the news, but I don't always want to talk about, politics and stuff. Sometimes there's stuff that happens that has nothing to do with anything political, and it just warms your heart to see it. You'll see a news story that captivates you, and it doesn't take you into like any sort of polarized position, Like I saw this South Carolina teacher that got arrested for using got arrested for using fart spray on the students as a punishment. Look, I'm not a teacher. I come from like a family of teachers, people that work in education. And like kids have always and will always drive adults insane. It's like part of the bargain that we have. Is part of the truce, you know? It's like y'all won't do a Lord of the Flies, y'all just be bad in school and we'll pay the bills. And look, I can't imagine what it's like to teach, especially now. You have kids who genuinely, because of like lockdown and COVID and stuff like that, missed out on little pieces. You have adults now who missed out on like a full college experience. You also have little kids who missed out on having their friends over and, being able to socialize at a very specific point in their life. So everybody's been like knocked off their kilter a little bit by COVID and by lockdown, not being able to just be with each other. That's just, a fact. And because of how school was going in that time, you have people who are really behind because they didn't have that special attention. You had to do school on Zoom with a bunch of other students, and maybe a kid needed help and they couldn't get it immediately, not in the way you can get it when you're present, I can't imagine what it would be like right now to be in school, sitting there trying to do my algebra like zzz, 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 zzz. And so then the kids come back to school and, some of them are excited to see their friends. Some of them are still trying to learn how to socialize. Some of them, maybe aren't as affected as others. But kids will be kids. Kids will be loud. They won't listen, all that stuff. And then what do you do if you're a teacher? You got teachers out here fighting for their lives just to try to teach you some English. You see videos of it all the time, teachers going through it because students don't want to listen, all this stuff. This is the person that's just trying to make sure you know how to spell. So one day, if you make it all the way to the White House and you have to address the nation, you won't be like, sematosis. And so if you're a teacher, what do you do? Like my teachers used to yell. Teachers yell. It happens. Hey, stop! And you can tell. There's a certain yell, especially when you got like a male teacher. There's a certain yell that you can tell you broke him because his voice cracked. You know what I mean? Like if he's like, hey, that's the, hey, y'all chill out, right? And he's had enough of it, and maybe you're the first period of the day. You know what I mean? Y'all being a little loud. Hey, listen up, right? Something happened at about 5th period and on, where if you really got him at his wits' end, he'd be like, hey! Can't even help you people. That's how you can tell. That's how you can tell when a teacher really at the edge, when they just start talking to the students like they are society. It's like you do your best, You go to a state school to save money because you know you're not going to make it here, You got a passion for Spanish, so you try to teach it to you knuckleheads. Just truly, teacher ready to cry. Over here, you get that third shut up. Sometimes that third shut up doesn't have any bass behind it. It sounds a little bit, shut up! Leaning against the board. I don't know what to do. And so what do? You know what I mean? Yelling doesn't work. You can't hit them. Somebody came up with a plan. Somebody was like, all right, y'all don't respect me? Okay, y'all don't respect me? You will respect this. Because I've read different reports. Some reports say he was like doing a prank or whatever. Some reports say he was like mad about whatever. But I'm telling you, he could have done it for any amount of reasons. Maybe this dude didn't take his job seriously. Maybe, he was out here just trying to prank for fun. He's somehow like a teacher's assistant, whatever, and still hadn't like grown up. So then he's over here, ooh, look at you, stinky, ooh. Ooh, stink butt over here, ooh. Maybe. But maybe he had enough. You can only take so many spitballs to the back of the neck before you snap. Maybe this dude came in one day and was like, all right, look, I hate that it's come to this, I really do. But please believe me, if you talk all the time or you never talked before, anybody can get it, all right? I'm not gonna lose my voice this week because y'all don't want to learn. Anybody can get it. Anybody. I'm gonna put it right here. And I'm begging y'all not to test me. As soon as somebody's talking to their friend, he's like, what? He must have been brandishing it. He must have been wielding it because apparently, like, from what I read, like 100 parents complained or something. This dude got arrested, and then I think they said like 2 students went to the hospital or something like that. And I'm sure you over there at interrogation tried to defend yourself. They should have thought about that asthma when they were doing all that talking, all right? How do we know it was a spray? What if it was that talking that caused the asthma attack? Over here, mouth moving 100 miles a minute. I'm trying to teach something. Listening is easy to breathe. Because I wonder how much he must have done it. You know what I mean? Was it just off of anything? Just one little noise? Huh? Or did he wait? Was he like writing on the board, letting the chatter sort of build? And then that's the thing. When you're a kid in class, you always think you're good if you're just not as loud as the loudest person. But that noise rises the entire level of the volume, because now if everybody's talking a little bit, somebody's going to get a little bit more confident, get a little louder. Everybody starts talking a little louder. And as long as they're not as loud as the loud one, now everybody's basically screaming just so they can hear themselves because they're all doing so much talking. And next thing you know, he whips around. Hey! Y'all gonna learn today. Because even the school said that he did $55,000 worth of damage. How? It must just be in the walls now. I don't know if y'all saw that Harvey Weinstein's conviction in New York got overturned. Yeah, no, it's shocking. It's not just like clear that he did it more than people that do it. Do you know what I mean? That's why he's an outlier. He literally has stats. And I don't know. It's like you see him, and then you see like Cosby being out and everything, like fully out. Like he's like out. And it does just feel like if women want accountability for men like this, you can't just depend on the justice system, You're going to have to start probably killing. I really don't see any other way. I have a vested interest in you not killing. I'm a man. But still, I don't know. It just seems like there's no way around it. You know what I mean? And honestly, if you did start killing, right? If you started killing a lot of the bad ones, then you could probably believe us when we say we're the good ones. I'm alive. Isn't that proof? None of the women have killed me. You might have a gash on the arm or something, but that's just, had to keep you in line. No. I think you're probably gonna have to do it. I really don't see any other way. Because people talk about patriarchy and everything, and sure, I understand, but you also have to remember that, as men, we're not all friends. I'm also scared of dangerous men. You know what I mean? And it's because they kill. So then if y'all kill too, that's really the only way to equality. You know what I mean? That's in a sad but poetic way. That's because even if y'all started killing indiscriminately, you couldn't do worse than men. So just kill a little. Okay. I feel like y'all aren't rolling with what I'm saying. And that's fine. This is a new idea for me too, okay? But I'm saying, I thought about it a lot. If I had a daughter, I'd buy her a knife. Maybe a gun, but definitely a knife. Because a knife, you can think about it, you know what I mean? Guns are too easy to be like, oops. Much harder to miss with a knife. You meant to poke who you poked, I don't know. Because I think that as I say this, it sounds crazy, obviously, and that's good because it means that you're all productive members of society and stuff. But when you really think about it, that's the score, right? Alpha things are usually just being the most dangerous person around. That's why when they tell you when you go to jail, find the biggest dude and punch him in the nose like a shark or whatever they say. But that's why they say that, because it's that fear instills a calm, and the calm is safety. Dangerous men are also scared, which is why they puff out their chests and act dangerous to get people off of them, But if women started killing, we'd all be a little bit, you know what I mean? There'd still be catcalls, they'd just be quieter. Do you know what I mean? You pass by, but then they see that you brandish it, right? They see you packing low, like you got a sawed-off shotgun, just out in the open. They're like, that ass. That was him. I don't know, maybe. Because I hear these stories and they're horrible. I have friends tell me about how they've put keys in between their fingers at night as they're walking to their car, And I'm like, yeah, but if you do my thing. Y'all are acting like I'm being unreasonable and I'm trying to help. I've read a lot of history books. I'm just telling you what's going to work. I'm just saying, level the playing field of general fear, and in a weird way, it might be a better world. Maybe It could work, you know? Like if you do it for long enough, it changes whole attitudes of like an entire culture, of everyone. Because then they'll be like, yeah, she might kill, like who knows, she might be a crazy one that kills, you know? But let's say the word is out that women kill now, and they kill as much as men, right? Now when you go in your boss's office and you close the door behind you and you ask for a raise, who knows? Maybe you kill. Or even just, if the word gets around that women are really out here killing, indiscriminately, you know? Crazy stuff, right? Because the way women do kill, I want to be clear about that. Women kill a lot, actually. They just do it to like people who they know, who they think deserve it. I'm talking about like killing across the board. Killing because you upset, you know what I mean? If the word got out that women are just out here killing, I think you would hear like a pack of guys, right? A pack of guys is usually what women are afraid of. 4 or 5 guys drunk walking down the street together, right? I've had my friends tell me that that's terrifying to them. Just whether it's going to be catcalls, whether it's going to be like cornering them, whether it's going to be something much, much worse, right? And it's because of the way that men are. It's because men kill. There are men that do horrible things. I'm not saying that women don't, but just by the numbers, you know? So if word got out that women kill, you'd see those 4 or 5 guys drunk, walking around, singing their song, la, 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 right? But then they would hear the click of stilettos. They look at each other like, bro, run! It could work. I'll leave it alone, but also, I don't know, consider it. I was stranded one time in Austin. And when I say stranded, I mean like my flight was so delayed that I got to Austin and the airport was like closed, you know what I mean? And I was so hungry, but obviously every other thing was closed. And Austin didn't have the boom that it had now, right? Like Austin wasn't this like bustling place that everyone moved to post-pandemic. Like it was just regular Austin, the way that the locals used to like it, you know what I mean? Before the money came. And there was no food. And so I was trying to like Uber Eats and like nothing was open. It was crazy to the point where I don't know why I did it, but I just left the hotel room and started walking. I was like, maybe I can just find something on foot, right? And I went down 6th Street and like 6th Street was closed. That's their Vegas. That strip of 6th Street is like everything's happening at some point, right? But it was so late that it was early, you know what I mean? And so I was walking and finally I passed this taco truck and I was so excited. I was like, yes, finally, food. Because this is now an hour and a half at least after I got to the hotel, which is at least 40 minutes after I landed. So I've been hungry for a day. And I run up to the taco truck and I see that there's bricks on either side of the taco truck. And then I realize that this taco truck is in an alley. I don't know if you've ever had alley food before. But it feels illegal when you ordering it, because you're like, why aren't you out? Do you know what I mean? Because I don't even know if I can describe this efficiently or no. The taco truck was basically just like, hey. It wasn't even jutted out or anything. It's literally like in the alley, like, hey, we got tacos. If you hungry. And there's not much space in the alley either. Like I'm leaning up against brick, trying to be like, yeah, let me get a carne asada. I order these tacos. I eat them, and they taste different than I've ever. They're different in flavor that I've ever had before. These are truly alley tacos. I found out what that meant with them. And maybe I wouldn't have even noticed if the packaging had been different. Maybe if I wouldn't have even noticed if this was a parking lot, I'd be like, all right, they're a little dry, but whatever. The fact that it was in an alley, though, I was like, no, I'ma die. I got a cactus taco. I remember this like it was yesterday. I got a cactus taco. I got, what was it? I got all vegetarian stuff. I got a cactus, I got a mushroom, and I got this like fried, I guess a fried mushroom as well. And so it was like cactus, regular mushroom, fried mushroom. And I ate all 3 tacos, and they very much taste like the middle of 2 buildings. And like even as I was eating it, I was like, this flavor is floor. This is crazy. If I had eaten even 24 hours ago, I would not be eating this right now. But I was like, and I ate it, and I walked back to my hotel, and I laid down. And as soon as I laid down, my stomach was like, don't fall asleep. No, we gonna be up tonight. The worst part is that I had like a roommate in my hotel room because I was there for a festival. So I had a roommate in my hotel room who had got in the day before, so he didn't have any of these problems, right? He's like trying to sleep, and my stomach keeping us both awake. Every time he sort of dozes off, my stomach is snoring, right? And I got so sick, and it was a type of sick where you're not even like throwing up or anything. I was just sitting there sick, right? And I really thought I was gonna die because I started sweating. I was like, that shouldn't happen. It's not hot in here. That cannot be pouring sweat out of my body right now. I clearly ate poison. And he's like, where'd you eat this taco? I was like, it was in an alley. He's like, you ate alley food? He said it like it was a thing he knew about, like alley food was just part of life. I was like, I didn't know it was alley food until I was in the alley. Don't judge me, I haven't eaten in 36 hours. And then I was just sweating to the point where I thought about going to the hospital. But I didn't out of embarrassment. I was like, I don't want to go to the hospital now and be like, yeah, I think I had some bad tacos. They're like, where'd you eat? I'm like, oh, in an alley. And because I'm not going to lie, at that point, I feel like the hospital going to turn you away. Like, I feel like, no, we not saving him. We only take care of people who don't deserve what happened to them. And so I was sitting there. I was really like pouring sweat, feeling so sick, wishing I was gonna throw it. Like you almost pray for it. And I was just sitting there, and I turned to my buddy, who's very annoyed with me because I'm not proud of it. But after a little while, like after the first hour of stomach rumbling, I did start moaning, and and both of us hated that. Like my stomach was like, and then I was like, oh. It was like I was crying, but no tears were coming out. And so I turned to him, I was like, I think I'm gonna die. And under his breath, he's like, just please do it soon. Like, whatever you're gonna do. Please, just get it out of the way. And I told him, I was like, if I get sick tonight and I die, if anybody asks what happened, tell them I got shot.
I try to be an optimistic person, I really do. But this does feel like a weird year to have Christmas. This feel like the type of year where you gonna go to bed December 24th and wake up and it's December 26th. You know what I mean? Not just Christmas, all the holidays. It feels kind of wild. All the holidays. It's like, all right, I guess we gotta try. All of it. I don't know a single person that's excited for their holiday coming up. Everybody's like, and I gotta do this. No, not at all. You know, I try though. I try to bring some of the joy back, some whimsy. You know, I've been going to the mall in every city that we've been going to. If I can make it to the mall, I go to the mall. Y'all remember the mall? It's like Amazon with rooms. And when I go to the mall now, especially this time of year, I look for Santa. You know what I mean? Because nobody's going to Santa anymore. It's actually really sad. Like no, you go to the mall and no one is going to Santa at all. It's like we've lost it socially. Like it's not happening. Even when you look at social, you're seeing less and less people post pictures with their kids with Santa and stuff like that. Like we're just not doing Santa. I don't even know if they tell kids about Santa anymore. It seems like they don't tell kids about Santa. My friends have kids. And I don't know a single kid that's like, oh, I'm hoping Santa brings me. All of them got an Amazon wish list. They all. We've lost it. We've lost that like touch of whimsy. We have, you know, now the kid knows. The kid had the wish list, had it all picked out, emailed you. And now if everything not on the list, they're like, I guess times must be tough. Like the thing, this is what Santa did for our parents, right? Santa was this little gap where like some real magic could happen. You came up with your list, right? And you were polite. Because Santa's a stranger. You don't want to come off greedy. And so you would write down a few things that you would love for Christmas. You would even scratch stuff out. People would pour, like kids that I knew would pour so much attention over, they would stress over their Christmas list. They would go over and over again, they scratch stuff. I know I actually want that. You see this little piece of paper, by the end of the day, it was unrecognizable. So many scratches and then writing over and then scratching and then misspelling, and now you got to rewrite it because what if you misspell it and Santa doesn't know what that is? You know? And so you would write this letter, and then your parents would be like, we'll mail it to Santa for you. You're like, thank you so much. You already doing a lot. That trip to the... I remember my mom was like, I'll send this to Santa. And I was like, you really a saint. You know that? Like, you are, because you knew I wasn't going to make it to the post office on my own. Like, you really doing me a solid right now. I'm going to go back to playing with these blocks, but I won't forget this. You a real sweetheart, you know, truly. And then Christmas would come and the presents were wrapped. And even if you stayed up, there were a lot of parents out who were too crafty. You couldn't catch them, you know. Yeah, you would think you were staying up too. You would think you were like, I better go to sleep because if you're awake, Santa won't come, which was kind of true. I was like, all right, okay. And then, you know, you go to sleep. I remember one time I went to sleep. This was Christmas Eve. Went to sleep. Woke up middle of the night. I was terrified. I was like, he gotta know this one not my fault. Like, he gotta. And I woke up because I needed to go to the bathroom. And so I was laying in bed and I was like, I think I'm gonna have to wet this one. I think I'm gonna have to. It's not worth Christmas, all right? You know, I can try to hold it as long as I don't dream about water. I think I'll be all right, but if I get up and then Santa hear my feet, that might be a wrap for the whole year. I've been good all year, not for nothing. I was good all year, and you know he was watching this stuff, so I'm probably gonna get everything that I asked for, so I can't risk that over a little tinkle, you know. And so then Christmas Day comes. Wow. Christmas Day is here. You wake up excited for Christmas, but even more excited that you see sunlight. It means you can finally pee. And so you bust out of the bed and you run to the bathroom and the door is closed. Someone's in there. And you're like, all right, I've waited for hours. I guess I can wait a little longer. They come out of the bathroom. They're like, Merry Christmas. You know, there's no time. All right. You rush past them, slam the door. You come out. After you wash your hands, you're like, I'm sorry about that. All right. I've been dealing with a lot. Christmas morning, it's time to open presents. You sitting there and you see a bunch of boxes. You see a bunch of boxes, and some of them aren't even boxes. Some of them just gift wrap lumps. And the lumps worry you because you're like, I don't think I asked for anything lumpy. I don't know. This might be for somebody else. He might be confused. You sit down, and maybe every family does it differently. Maybe each person opens a gift and they all take turns, and you're all like, that's great for you. You know what I mean? Like, or maybe you get to open all yours and someone gets to open all theirs and everything. And I was the only child, and I was the first grandbaby in I think a decade or something. So it really was like my mom, my aunt, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa were all in on Christmas for just me. I was so blessed that they really were excited to see me open these gifts. I didn't have to I never had to fight for that sort of attention or anything. They were very excited to see my reaction, right? Which is a blessing, and let's just call it a double-edged sword. Because now, without me realizing, there's a bunch of pressure for me to like every gift, because each gift was from one of them, you know? And so I started opening gifts, and there were some years where I was very blessed. I had a bunch of gifts. Some years where I got a few gifts, but they were exactly what I wanted, So I started opening gifts, and maybe my grandma would hand me one and be like, this is from Santa. I'd be like, all right. I'd start opening it, and I remember the year, a Nintendo 64. I didn't know how unproductive my life was about to get. I didn't know. I was about to have a rough year in math. Because they got me an N64 and they got me Diddy Kong Racing. A true N64 classic. I didn't know it at the time, but I was a part of history. I would lose thousands of hours like many children to a game where you could either play as a plane, a car, or like a little hovercraft tubing thing, which really didn't make any sense. Like love that game so much. I played it for hours Christmas Day. And then, I didn't play it right away. There were other gifts to open. This was a beautiful Christmas, right? I remember I got handed one of the lumpy ones. It also said from Santa, right? And I was like, okay. And I opened it, and it was 2 shirts. Not to sound ungrateful, but as someone with shirts, I was like, ooh, okay, wow, and it fits me just right. I know he wrote Josh, but he must have meant another name. This needs to go to someone who doesn't have shirts. Because then when you would open these gifts, you would think back to when you went to see Santa and you told him about this, and he was like, oh, yes, that sounds doable. Well, if you've been good this year, then you have nothing to worry about, right? And then you would think back to that thing when you open the gift and you're like, oh, this is what he was talking about. He said I didn't have anything to worry about and my man came through. And then, as the years pass, you find out. And like Christmas, it doesn't necessarily lose its magic. It just morphs into a different thing. Because one thing that my family would do, I don't know about anybody else, because there are some families where I completely understand. I really don't judge how you try to enjoy the holiday or raise your family. But there are some people that I knew growing up who Santa didn't come to their house because their parents were like, no, I got it. Oh, please believe I didn't work overtime to give the credit to the man at the mall. No, Daddy got you that. I remember one time my friend was my friend's dad was talking about it, because he had said something about like, but what about when Santa comes? That's like all I heard in the conversation. But what about when Santa comes? And he was like, Santa work 1 month out of the year. I work all 12. I'm handling it. I remember this is like right at the cusp of me finding out, right? So this is like right before I found out, okay? But I remember being like, I was still a kid. I wasn't like itty bitty. I was where you start putting it together. And because, I come from this area in the South, I come from Louisiana, and I'm blessed to be raised by all of these educators and everything, and just like living down south, you'll experience it sooner or later. And then sometimes your parents try to shield you by arming you with the knowledge of what the world is like before you have to experience a part of it yourself. And so I was being taught about segregation, about how my grandmother was treated when she was a kid, about what laws there used to be in the place that we live. That they were telling me how this thing wasn't that long ago, that people would try to make it seem like ancient history, but a lot of those people are still alive for it, which means it's more recent than they're comfortable with, you know? And I was finding out about segregation right around the time that I saw a black Santa and a white Santa. So I remember going to the mall that year and seeing Santa, and he was white. And I sat in his lap like all those other years, you know, and I don't know, I was just thinking to myself, as a little kid, you know, I was just thinking to myself, like, yeah, this is progress, you know what I mean? Like, we always... Because also, you're so little when you were going to Santa, especially in the 90s, when you would go to Santa, that it was a whole other year later. You didn't really put it together that this Santa didn't look like the last Santa. Santa would change it wasn't until I had almost figured it out that I was like, oh, Santa, how you been? This man's like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, you just, you know, you just look a little different. And then, like, what different? How do you mean? And it's like, that was on him. That was like follow-up questions. It's not my fault anymore. How do you mean? I was like, oh, you don't know? And I guess if you don't feel different, you're not different. But yeah, last time you just had, you know, a glow about you. You know what I mean? Because not everybody had the same loving experiences with Santa that I did. I'm aware some people had their bad, you know, their bad experiences. You know, like my friend wrote a letter to Santa because that's how his parents had him do it. Like they were like trying to teach him letter writing and penmanship and everything. They were like, you got to write a letter to Santa, and the letter to Santa has to be clear, it has to be legible, and you have to write it like a letter. Dear Santa, say exactly what you want, and make sure you sign off sincerely yours, your name, right? Write a letter. And so he wrote a letter to Santa, and then he didn't get what he wanted that year, and he was so disappointed. You know, that the next year, this is what they made him do every year, the next year he wrote a letter to Santa again, but instead of making requests, this time he was just sort of airing his grievances. He was just sort of airing his grievances about the prior year. So he wrote this letter to Santa. He was like, Dear Santa, I'll kill you. You think you can play with me? I was good all year last year, and you didn't bring anything I wanted. You just brought me stuff that my parents told me that I should buy with the money from my lemonade stand. How are you gonna take their side over mine? Thanks for nothing. Good for nothing. Santa. Sincerely yours, Roger. And of course, his parents read the letter, And then he got in trouble. And he felt even more betrayed. He was like, "You read my letter to Santa? Is there no justice?" That was a private conversation. Over here meddling. And so when I go to the mall and I see Santa, it hits different. I remember all of these like special experiences I had with Santa at the mall, right? And then I see Santa over there, and they don't even have him in prime real estate anymore. They got Santa in the back of the mall. They put him in the back, they put him in the corner. They put Santa in the mall the same places that the airport put Spirit Airlines, where they unless you got a ticket, unless you got a boarding pass, you won't find this area at all. Even with a boarding pass, you always in the wrong area. How you gonna have a terminal 4.5? You know Spirit Airlines, it's the Waffle House of airlines. I've actually flown Spirit plenty times, and I love to see a fight. I love to see a fight. Because here's the thing. And I know Spirit gets like a bad reputation because basically everything that is happening on other airlines is just happening on Spirit, but Spirit takes you to a place where you're willing to go to jail. Like you just like you're like ready. You know what I mean? You ready. And so a fight on Spirit Air, because I'll give you an example. I've seen a bunch of almost fights on Delta. I've seen a lot of almost fights on Delta because what Delta will do is that they will put your layover, they'll make your layover 12 seconds. So you'll leave, you did everything you're supposed to do. You got to the airport on time, you went through TSA, and then you board, and then you take off, and then you land. And you knew it because they did it on your other boarding pass. They were like, oh, the time that you're taking off is the time that you're landing. They're the same time. They're the same. And when you look at it initially, you're like, oh, I must gain an hour. No, it's no time zone difference. Yeah, and so then you land, and you land panicked. You land because you're missing it. You land and you're late. You're already late. And so you want to get off the plane as soon as possible. And you will ask the flight attendant, even, you'll be like, as you're boarding, be like, I have a very, very tight connection. Can you please make that announcement y'all make sometimes about people who, you don't have to say my name, like people who have tight connections, so that if people could sit and then let them leave first and everything, so they have a chance to make it. So they have a chance. You remember chances? And I remember the last time I asked a flight attendant to do this, because my entire group, we had such a tight layover that I was like, it is a significant amount of people on the plane that have to get to the next gate, which isn't close, because that's also too much to ask. It would be crazy if you landed and you had to go next door, right? It's like, no, if you got a layover, the fun of a layover is running, you know what I mean? It's not a layover if you don't exercise. It's not a layover. Okay. This is probably gonna be where you turn on me, but look. There was a flight I was on one time where where we landed was my final destination. But those people had like a tight layover. So then they made the announcement. And when they make the announcement, I just sit. I do my best to just sit. Unless the person who needs to get out is like in the window or something. Now I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is also why it doesn't work. Because a bunch of the people that don't have the layover didn't all have aisle seats. Like you basically pushed a bunch of people into the aisle to try to get around them. We might as well all just leave now. You know what I mean? We're actually holding it up now by other people letting you be like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And like letting you pass where there's no room. Aisles weren't made for people. It was made for one person. So when someone's getting by, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. It's my bad. Sorry. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. And so there was this family, tight layover, right? Not sitting together. Not sitting together at all. And everybody is doing the best they can. I'm not saying they should have planned and sat together or anything like that. Maybe there really wasn't the possibility. Maybe by the time they were buying tickets, there's just a bunch of single seats, you know? And so family, which was like a big family, it was a Kevin McAllister amount of family. It was crazy. This family had every aisle seat down the entire plane, right? Like it wasn't a big plane. It was one of those where it wasn't just the two seats. It wasn't that small, but within the three seats, it didn't go back that far. Probably had like 30 rows or something like that. But it just straight up like 15 people together needed to get off to go to the same flight. And I knew that because they were talking to each other as we were landing. They were yelling like up and behind each other and talking to each other as we were landing. And they all had the shade up and they were all like, yep, we close. Like it was... And so then we land, they make the announcement, please let these people go, right? So then these people are trying to get out from their middle seat without the other person getting up. So before the other person can even offer to get up and get in the aisle to make room for them, they're like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Sorry. Right? If you climb me, don't say excuse me. Do you know what I mean? Like if you give me, if I'm sitting, I'm sitting next to you, sitting like a Christian, sitting. And then you get up and you don't even know what you're trying to give me. You don't know if it should be the back or the front because you don't know how nimble you are, right? They're both bad in their own way. They're both horrible. Because if I'm sitting and then you got to get over me and now you over here just foot in front of the face and you just fighting to not sit in my lap. You over here, if I miss the lap, it's fine somehow. Everything is fine now. And I gotta sit there like that didn't happen. That's crazy. I don't know what's worse. I've had back and I've had front. Front is crazy because front is a relationship. I've had people stand up middle seat, turn around. That's what happened on this flight. Turn around to talk to the person behind who's also in their party, and was like, we got 6 minutes. We got 6 minutes, and it's at another terminal, so we're gonna have to run, right? And then before I can even unbuckle my seatbelt, okay, I'm sorry. 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 Climbed over me front facing. Whole time I got posted up like this, posted up elbow. Trying to block something. falls on me. Then gets up, gets in the aisle. I was like, where are you going? We married now. And so they were running, right? All running out and everything, because they all pretty much did the same thing. Some of them were nimble, some of them were like, all running down the aisle. People actually were sitting and not getting up and letting them go. It was just a real show of humanity. You know what I mean? I guess the other people on the plane were like, yes, we are here, so we'll wait the other 30. Usually society falls apart in that moment. You know, but let everybody get off. And then in first class was someone who I assume was the grandfather figure of the group, but they hadn't sent the wheelchair down the jet bridge yet. And so grandpa was sitting in like row 2, aisle C, watching his family run, and then one of them bringing up the rear was like, Grandpa, come on. And he was like, did you forget? And you can see it's like, I don't know, this is me projecting, but it felt like a very like son-in-law situation. Like the way that Grandpa was talking to him, it felt like he married in, because this, unless he just really doesn't respect his own blood like that, this was crazy, right? Did you forget? And then he's like, okay, I'll see if they can send a wheelchair down and everything. And he was like, go without me. Just go. I don't know what trip they were trying to make. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely, there are some people who save up for years to go somewhere exotic, somewhere they've always dreamed of going, or maybe they want to bring their family. There are some people who get the opportunity to go places because it's being gifted to them. There's someone that's bringing their whole family somewhere. I can't imagine the stress this family was under to just be scrambling off the plane like that, right? All I know is that this man, he said, go without me. And this man cupped the back of his neck, knelt down, and tried to put his arm under his knees, and got ready to try to pick Grandpa up and run with him. Panic is one thing, but like, never let panic give you confidence. Because look, I'll just tell you what I saw, I'm not judging, but Grandpa was built like Santa. And bro was built like me. So the idea that he was gonna pick this man up and run down a terminal to a terminal in 6 minutes is a delusion. You have a spell on your mind if you think you're making it. He got Grandpa legs right about here. Grandpa over here. And we all heard it, they being loud too. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing implies I don't want to be picked up. What are you doing? You know what he's doing. You grown. You know what he's doing. But what are you doing is your way of saying stop, right? And I don't know. He believes in himself. He's trying to make the flight. bends his knees and gives it a shot. It's crazy when you pick somebody up like, I don't know, marriage style. I don't know what this is, but like when you pick somebody up like bride style like that, their eyes and your eyes are like level, right? And so Grandpa over here. Now son-in-law straining. Now he over here. I've never heard somebody muscle tear through their voice. You know what I mean? Are you done? This man said, put me down. To be fair, he had never really lifted him up. Lower the legs down and everything. And then he was like, go. Son-in-law over here. They bring down the wheelchair. I have no idea if Grandpa made it or not, you know? I don't. I just wondered if like maybe a different airline would have brought a wheelchair faster. Maybe as an airline they only got one wheelchair, so then people have to share frequently, you know? It's tough. It's tough. Back of the airport. Back of the mall. I was walking in the mall. I came across a Santa. No line. No line at all. And really, truly, like, I don't even know when the last time it was that somebody made going to Santa part of their Christmas card. Or I saw it on social, like Baby's First, you know, visit to Santa, anything like that. So it does make sense. There's nobody here, you know? And so I was like, I'll take a picture with Santa. I do that. Sometimes I'll take a picture with Santa, especially if it's a situation like this. This dude's gonna be here for like 8 hours, and he can't be on his phone. Santa can't be on his phone. So I'm like, let me just, you know what I mean? Support. You know, he's done a lot for me. Let me do something for him. And so I walk up, and you know, I gotta register. You know, you gotta purchase it from the L's beforehand, because you know, capitalism, right? So I walk up, and all right, I've done this a few times, right? I've gone to the mall, seen Santa, taking a picture with Santa, right? And how do I put this? They are nice to me in a way that's disrespectful. You know, so I walk up to the elves and I'm like, hey, I'd love to take a picture with Santa today. And they were like, what package would you like? I was like, oh, I'll take the digital package with like 2 printouts, right? And they're like, you sure you want to do it today? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, that's not even the real Santa. Like No, for real, he like a low-key backup Santa. Like he's, real Santa got food poisoning. He called in sick, so they called him. But like, and I was like, well, I'm only here today, so yeah, let's do it. He's like, are you sure? Then the elf pulled out a picture of the other Santa with another family and was like, this is what you're missing out for. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a better Santa. Like it was like, nah, he had like a twinkle and everything. It was crazy. Like I don't know if he used Visine for that or something, but it's just, you know what I mean? Like, you could hear it. You could hear, you looked at the picture, it felt like you could hear his dimples. You know what I mean? You know? I was like, well, no, I'm here today. Let's, you know what I mean? Like my man over here by himself, let's take a picture, right? And they were like, all right. And then I walked up to Santa, and this is my thing. This is what I'm talking about being too nice. I'm a grown man. I told you my name. You don't have to call me buddy this much. This is, we get into some real disrespect here. And I know I don't do myself any favors because I walk up and I guess I'm not presenting like this is just gonna be a chill. I'm excited to see Santa. And I think that's what starts us off on the wrong foot Cause he's sitting there and then he see me coming and you can see in his eyes, he like, what always hurt me is they look behind me for a family and they and then, I walk up and once again, don't do myself any favors because I busted there. They got the little fenced off area within the fake grass and then all the presents in the tree and stuff like that. And then the trail leading out that is to a line that nobody's in, right? So I walk up and I walk up a little fast. There's no line or anything. I don't know a good pace to walk. I'm not running, but like I'm walking. You know what I mean? I know where I'm going, and y'all made that snake line like it's gonna be the bank. You know what I'm talking about? They got extra fence like there's gonna be a line. There's no line. So then I'm trying to get to it. It's awkward. He's sitting over there. He a maze away. I'm just getting it over with, right? I'm sure from his perspective, because he's being still, it look like I'm running, but I'm not running. I'm walking. I'm walking with some pace, right? But then I walk up, and then as soon as I get through the gate, and I walk up to him like, "How's it going, Sam?" And that is too much. That now he doesn't know who he dealing with. Like now he extra nice because he's unsure. You know what I mean? Man, over here, and this is my thing. I know we two grown men, but like you gotta stay in character. You know what I mean? Like, cause I roll up, I'm like, "Hi, Santa," and he's like, "Oh." You are supposed to say ho, ho, ho. How do you do the exact opposite of your literal catchphrase? I'm like, "How you doing, Santa?" "Oh." How are you? What's your name? And then I was like, "I'm Josh." And I know that by using my thumb to point at myself, I know that was a wild move. If you use your thumb to point at yourself, you probably don't do everything yourself. If you're using your thumb to point at yourself, you probably 12. very proud of a certificate you just earned or something. It's like, what's your name? I'm Josh. Oh. There it is again. Why are you doing that? You know what I mean? And so, you know, he's sitting there, and there's a chair. There's a chair. There's nowhere else. You have to sit in Santa's lap. It's part of the experience. You do. And so the fact that maybe I seem eager, that's fair. I seem a little eager. And that's on me. I should be cooler about it. I should walk, you know what I mean? I shouldn't jump, yeah, so. But yeah, I go ahead and sit in Santa's lap, and, you know, he even had the little, like, yeah, like, he knows they built it this way. This is how you're supposed to do it, so that. And I sat in his lap, and admittedly, I should have started talking. Like, I shouldn't have just sat there waiting for him to speak or something. But and I know that everybody's doing their best. I never want to put somebody who's making an honest, just an earnest effort down or anything, but. His lap game was lacking. Like this, like I've sat in many laps. I've been serviced by many Santas, and when I tell you this man lap was weird, like this. First of all, so I sat in my man's lap, right? And I'd never felt anything like this in my life. It felt like the top half was Santa and the bottom half was elves, because like his legs were built like mine. Like he had the skinniest legs. So I can't even get comfortable. It's like he missing a lap. I'm like, you sitting down, right? Felt like I was sitting in between two rungs of a ladder. I was like, where am I going right now? It was at that moment I was like, maybe I should have waited for the other Santa. Like he just, you know what I mean? Felt like his lap would have had more cushion to it, you know? And then he's like, well, what would you like for Christmas? And I was like, Santa, I would love the Millennium Falcon Lego set, the one that came out in 2004 with about 3,000 pieces to it. It's very hard to find online, and if you could get me that, that would make my entire Christmas. And I think my specificity hurt me here, because once again he was like, oh! I was like, that's the third one. This man said, oh! Ooh. I hope that works out for you. I hope that works out. Where's the magic? I hope that works out for you. It's a crazy thing to say. Not it'll be there. Not I'll do my best. I hope that works out for you. Are you ready to take the picture? I was like, yeah, I guess, Santa. Like, he's over here phoning it in. And then you take the picture, and I'm over here. And he looking at the camera like I'm not gonna see the picture later. Cause I'm grinning ear to ear. I'm with Santa. This man. Unacceptable. Do you know what I mean? Like what are we even doing? You know, like Santa should be battling, trying to fight back for the position that he has lost. Because he has lost it now. What used to be an experience that you waited all year to have is just a couple of clicks to a wish list, and he's left by the wayside. You would think that Santa would be excited to see anybody that was excited to see him. You know? Unacceptable. It felt like I believed in Santa and he didn't believe in me, you know? And so, you know, I get off Santa. Takes a second because he got, I don't know, it was weird. It was like I was so sunken in to the cushion because there was no lap or anything that I was genuinely like over here. Thanks Santa for his time. I'm walking away, leaving the little fenced off area. And just as I'm walking away, one of the elves, I passed them and they were like, see?
I don't know if this story resonated with people the way that it resonated with me, but they caught the Pennsylvania convict that escaped and everything. All right, did you already know about this? Okay, so some of y'all didn't, so I'll explain it very quickly. Very, very quickly, I'll try to give you the rundown on what happened. Basically, there was this guy, and you can watch it, they released the footage of this dude escaping prison, right? He escaped prison, okay? So then this dude walks up. I should also mention, when I saw the escape, I was rooting for him to be like a burglar or like you know what I mean? Like something that you could bank rob or something you could really get in the story. Turns out he's a murderer. So I was like, please find him immediately. Please, please, please. He is killed. He is a killer, all right? And the worst part about him being a killer is he little. So he is a little killer, and that is the scariest type of killer. Bro, you are big. If you stood up to kill me, I'd be like, that makes sense. I'm getting killed by a man right now. You know what I mean? Like if a big man goes to kill, that looks like what he want to do anyway. Like if you a big dude and you kill, that all makes sense. But if you a little killer, if you just walking, I'm like that's. Because I don't know who he killed, what he did, but all I know is he's a killer and he little, so it must have felt like Chucky coming at you when he was coming. Doesn't even feel like he take regular steps. He feel like they do that wind-up toy shit, you know what I'm talking about? Where he's like, murder, you know what I mean? And so I was freaked out by that. I was like, they told me he was a killer, I was like, please catch him quick. So this is what he did. So basically, he walks up to two pillars that are in the prison, right? And he put his hand on one pillar. And he put his foot on the other pillar. And then this motherfucker moonwalked up until he got to the roof. I've only seen Jackie Chan do that in Rumble in the Bronx and Looney Tunes. Those are the only two that I've seen moonwalk up two pillars like that. And he did it like it was nothing. And then he jumped off the side of the building, was on the roof, jumped over that wire, jumped off the building, and then ran into the bushes and stuff. And they couldn't find him because he little, okay? And this is the worst part. Okay, so he's so little that they locked down everybody. They made everyone in a like a wide radius stay inside. They were like, don't. Yeah, it was where?
It was in my parents' backyard.
He was in your parents' backyard? Ooh, okay, all right. So I'm gonna tell them the rest of the story, and then I gotta, no, okay. So I'm gonna tell, so then, okay. All right, so then this motherfucker is out, right? And so then they lock everybody down in a radius because they don't want anybody to leave the house because he's so little, they don't know where he could be. So he's so little that he could be under sinks. He could be in cabinets. They have no idea where this man could be. They were like, don't go outside, don't go for your little run, because when you come back in, he could be in your pants leg. He is just that little. This man is tiny as hell, all right? He's so little, stay where you are. And they even locked down school, and a lot of people were upset and didn't understand why they did that, but I did. I got it immediately. He little. All he needs is a backpack, and he one of the kids. Now he's even harder to find. Is he under a sink? Is he in home economics class? Like, where is it? So then, all right. So then, this is as far as I know and what I saw. But I'm gonna get a little bit more confirmation in a second. So then, the way that they found him was also hilarious, because then they found him, right, and they were using this like infrared to track where he could be, because they knew he was in the woods, and him being in the woods makes the story even funnier. I'm not gonna lie, because him being in the woods like a Keebler elf, just like a little murdery, like, you know what I mean? So then they get the infrared. Then they find a pattern that they think is him. Then they release the like manhunt dogs, right? And so I'm not a cop. I don't really know what goes into it, but from what I've heard, this might be bad information. I'm just telling you what I heard, all right? The manhunt dogs aren't like the drug dogs. These dogs only get to go out to do manhunt stuff. So if they not on manhunt, they bored, right? So then they release these dogs. These dogs could not be happier. These dogs were out like, yes! The dogs were, you can see it on dogs' face, this is what we play for! This was the Super Bowl for those dogs, right? They were like, yeah! And so then the dog, like one of the dogs caught him, right? And they caught him. Like the dog got him, but got him. Like got him on the head. And the dog biting his whole head is just a testament to how little he is. Like, I'm surprised the dog didn't swallow him. Like, your whole head fit in the dog's mouth like a lion circus act? That's insane. He was in your parents' backyard. So, okay, and for a little while? Or, like, how long was he in? And when he was in the backyard, was he just in between two blades of grass? Like, how did y'all not?
He ran through, and, like, cops let them know the next day, but it was like at night.
Oh, so he ran through your parents' backyard, and then the cops came to your parents the next day, and they were like, listen, he little and he was here. Which is not reassuring at all. It's like for a cop to come to your house and be like, this little motherfucker was here. And we still don't know where he is. He could still be here, all right? Check your collar, check behind your ear. Is he there? This was the littlest manhunt we've ever been on. It was like they were looking for Stuart Little. It was crazy. In your parents' back, and were your parents like freaked out by that? Oh, they weren't freaked out?
We locked our doors, so it was fine.
Your parents are like, we locked our doors, so it's all good. We closed the windows, it's fine. Was your dad acting like tough about it?
Absolutely not.
Oh, your dad? Okay. I thought maybe your dad would be like, I'm gonna step on that little motherfucker when I see him. Like, no, wow. Ooh. Oh, it almost feels weird to change the subject now, but I'm gonna try. I know. What do I do now? So, look. Confidence. Confidence is not a meritocracy. One of the things that hurts men in their lives more than anything is not having confidence. And some men have so much confidence, and it's like completely unearned. You're like, where did it come from? Did it fall out of the sky and hit them? Was it like an asteroid? Where did they get this confidence? I'll give you an example. This happened last night, right? I was on a walk, right? I had just got some ice cream, a little sorbet, okay? I'm on my walk, I'm enjoying my strawberry sorbet, and I see next to me two beautiful, like truly, truly beautiful women, right? And we're all about to cross the street. And then as I was looking over at them, past them, I saw one of the raggiest dudes I've ever seen in my entire life, right? And he was on a bike, but it looked like a city bike, but it looked like it used to be a city bike. You know what I mean? You know, like when a city bike really been through it to where even city bike is like, you can keep this one. We don't. Like it looked decommissioned. Like it's like it wasn't even blue anymore. It was just busted looking. And he on the bike, right? And so then it wasn't. I mean, maybe it wasn't even a city bike because it had a chain on. Anyway, so he's riding the bike, okay, and he rides up to where the three of us are standing, and he immediately shoots his shot with these two women. I've never had broke bike shooting my shot confidence. And two women who look done up. Like they look like they just got, like it must be one of their birthdays or something. They look incredible. And he rolled up and he did the thing where he tried to slow down and he wanted to swerve on him. You could tell he wanted to swerve, but he couldn't get the handlebars in the right position. So you know, he wanted to be like he wanted to like, you know what I mean? He wanted to like flip on him. But instead he was just like, how y'all doing, ladies? How y'all doing? And so all three of us turned. And I don't know why I turned. Like, but all three of us turned. Like, and then he just proceeded to lay it on thick. He's like, how you doing? You know, y'all looking good tonight? And it's like, it was one of those things where I was like, where is it coming from? But then I thought to myself, I'm like, the place that misplaced confidence really comes from is it's a numbers game. Every man knows that it's a numbers game. And you have to remove your emotions from it because he knows in his head, if they say no to him, that literally just makes sense. So we can only go up from here. You wonder why raggedy dudes try it on with you? It's because they know you should say no. On the off chance you having a bad night, your confidence fucked up, you don't really have hope, and you say yes, that's my night. And so they at first they were going to ignore him, but then they saw that the light wasn't turning because we still had 20 seconds on this other one. So we knew it was going to be 20 seconds. So he's like, how y'all doing? Everything good? You want to hang out? What y'all doing later and everything? And then they were like, oh no, we're good. Thank you so much and everything. And then he was like, all right, I mean, you missing out when you're not hanging out with Leroy. He said his name in the third person. Like that's the confidence. Anyway, so then he's like, you're missing out if you're not out with Leroy. And then he went to like start up again, and you could tell you want to do the you know like when you're on a bike and you try to really get one going so you get high on it so you can really come down. So he tried to get high on it, and right then the chain broke, and so the chain broke on the bike, and then he just, without saying a word, just sort of got off the bike and started walking the bike away. He was like, all right, y'all missing out, but all right. One of my favorite like types of stories in the world are snitch stories. You know what I mean? Like when somebody is part of a criminal organization and they turn and they try to like not get caught. So, and I think it's because I'm a snitch. I am. Like I'm such a snitch that when I was little, no kids wouldn't let me do dirty stuff with them because they were like, you gonna tell? And I was like, yeah, I would. Yeah. You're not even wrong. I really would. I would panic. I'd tell everybody. I'd tell everybody everything. I'd probably tell them stuff that didn't even happen. I'm telling them just to make the story feel full. My favorite snitch story of all time was this guy was in a gang and he got caught on some unrelated stuff, and then he turned state's evidence. Right? So then he started working with police, became a confidential informant, and was giving them everything on the gang as an enterprise. And then the day came that they had planned for so long. He was supposed to give them
the time and the place to meet where the stash house was, when the stash house would have the most money, the most guns, and have everybody there. And so the day came, he called the police. Police bust in, and they're arresting everybody, and they're seizing everything. And there's video that leaked of it that then became part of a little documentary on it. And you can see in the thing that the cops, when they're busting in, forgot to arrest him. And so he knows he needs to be arrested. So as the cops are even running past him, he's like, oh no! Ow! What is happening? Oh, y'all, they got us. Oh no. And there's a little subtitle on the thing where the man is sitting on his hands, uncuffed, whispering to the cop, motherfucker, cuff me. What are you doing? You trying to get me killed? Man, you all have been so fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm Josh Johnson.